Well, hello YouTube. I'm ready to make a shitload of fucking YouTube videos, to be honest, but I mean, the limitation I have at the moment is I do have projects I want to do, but I don't necessarily feel like doing them right now. Mostly just feel like yammering on and, you know, randomly getting my frustrations out, and maybe just rambling on like a bit of an idiot, you know, occasionally. That burned a bit. But the point that I'm trying to make to you is that I've ended up fixing up my channel completely. Okay, things that I've added to my channel pretty much lately. Crowd support, which now you can now fund me if you're interested in funding my If you're interested in funding my technological endeavours, you can, any amount will help, honestly, in the sense of just that. If you want to fund my channel and want me to be able to make content for you, you know, redo content, things like that, I can definitely accommodate for that. As I said, just make a small donation, or a large one, either way. But that's pretty much what I wanted to do. My battery is about to go flat. Hilarious. Right, I'm going to stop that now. Thank you. Start off from where I left off, pretty much. Which I do apologise, I had to restart the video because my battery was flat on my camera. Holy crap, and this one's going to go flat, oh no, never mind. Staying 2. Alright. We'll see how long this battery lasts anyway. It's a little bit dodgy at the moment. Oh no, it's going up to full strength. Okay, there we go. Okay, the point that I'm trying to make is my battery life is doing weird shit, to be honest. That was pretty weird. But to the honest extent that I want to say this, I'm just recharging this other battery at the moment. There we go. Right. That's in the battery holder. Good. So what I was trying to say was, anyway, pretty much the stuff I've been doing on my channel of late has been a combination of different things, as you know. I've recently enabled crowd support, so if you're interested in supporting my channel and supporting my technological endeavours, please feel free to donate. Any amount will help. And the other side of the spectrum is, and the other side of everything else on the other side of the spectrum at this point in time, is that I do a lot of technological combination things, gaming, you know, combined, all those things combined, basically, if I can. At this point in time, I'm uploading a couple of videos which I haven't quite finished uploading, to be honest. One's 52% through, and the other one is pretty much hasn't even started yet. So to be honest, my upload and my internet pretty much bottom out most of the time, so that's the things that are giving me the most of the shits. The thing that I'm going to be doing in the next few weeks is working on a project. Obviously this project is going to relate to me building a machine. Key point, I'm going to be building a brand new machine into a case, well, not a brand new, but a reconditioned machine into a case, get that off and pretty much sell it. Which I think my battery's going to go flat now because these batteries are dodgy, just saying. Wonderful when batteries work and when they don't. It's pretty much a case of me having to charge them or have 2 chargers. I should get 2 chargers, shouldn't I? I should get 2 Sony chargers just in case, Samsung chargers just in case, because you'd be surprised how often the battery goes flat pretty quick. So the point that I'm trying to make is that that's what I'm going to be doing in the next few weeks, just doing that type of stuff. The plan after that, though, or my plan in particular the other things that I may be running through is repairing consoles, phones, you know, and all those combinations of things. I've worked on a few gaming machines and things like that. Alienware's not too bad, as I was saying before, but like as I said, I've done that combination of stuff. So at this point in time, basically, it's when I get around to doing that. It's also when I get around to there's another machine which I want to sell. What's the other machine I want to sell? The other machine I want to sell, I got actually a couple of machines. I got 2 laptops, which I'm going to probably be doing some custom upgrades to them to be able to make them actually run a bit better. which ones are those? So I've got two different machines, which is a Medium machine and the other one's a Dell machine. Which is Dell machine actually needs a proper SSD. It's got a little SSD in it, but it hasn't got a large enough one. I want a little bit bigger of an SSD before I sell it off. Basically, I want to get something like 128 megabytes. It's one of the chip ones. It's actually one of the microchip ones. You plug into it like the actual chip on the board of the actual laptop itself. So see how I go and see if I can get something like that for it in the future. Obviously, it might take a little while. Might take an initial run through to do that. And I might as I said, I'm not a budget at the moment, so I can't really afford to spend heaps of money. But the other side of the spectrum that I've had so far, the other end of things, is that I've decided, aside from doing that, I plan on selling some stuff as well. I'm going to be selling stuff on eBay. At this point, I'm not sure. I'm deciding whether to sell on eBay or Gumtree. It's sort of, should I, shouldn't I? I've had success with Gumtree with some things and not so much with others. So it's sort of a catch-22 situation where I'm trying to work out which is the best possible way that I can go about this to get the best possible amount from what I'm selling. Everything seems to be working. Everything seems to be working on my workbench. I've got all my workbench set up and everything else. Fixed up my nephew's computer this afternoon. It was having some hard drive issues, which I've fixed those hard drive issues now, and it's quite well done. He's quite happy with that. Well, he's quite happy with his computer. He's gone out tonight. I'm just sitting here relaxing, having a beer, doing a couple of YouTube videos. I forget why the hell not I do a couple of YouTube videos just to fill in some time. On top of that, I'm also, my girlfriend is also asleep on Skype as well, so I'm sitting here having a couple of beers, just relaxing. She's fast asleep. She's so cute when she sleeps. Some people would, disagree with me that people are cute when they sleep, but I honestly do think people are cute when they sleep. Anyway, okay, the point that I'm trying to make and the point that I'm trying to emphasise is that I picked up this toolkit, which is quite a nice little piece of kit, which I haven't got a chance to really use it on anything like phones or anything like that, because I haven't really taken anything like that apart of late. But in the not too distant future, I'll find some disposable items in question, and I'll take them apart, do some rundowns and teardowns of different, items in question. Basically, household, even maybe some household electronics, stuff along that line, basically. I found an issue with, it was funny, it was a Western Digital Blue drive, which doesn't seem to agree with my nephew's computer. My nephew's computer doesn't like it at all. It seems to make a whirring sound. Now the funny part is I plugged it straight into my hard drive dock and it seems to be receiving. But I'm guessing there's an intermittent problem with the actual drive that you wouldn't see unless you actually stuck it in with a bunch of other hard drives in the system, or in a system. So I'm guessing that's what the problem is. I'm not sure offhand. I haven't done extensive testing. I might do some HD testing on it maybe, just to see if it's actually going to fall over or if it's going to die out, since the read speeds and things like that, and things just, fucking up, or bad sectors or things of that nature. So I haven't done any of those tests yet, but I might test that drive just to see if it's okay, because it just strikes me as unusual that it's doing what it's doing. Look, it could be just the fact that I was unlucky enough with these particular drives. The last drive that I had the same sort of issue, similar issue, but as soon as I plugged it in, it froze my computer and it did a whole heap of other stuff and would just freeze everything. This drive is a 500 gig Western Digital Blue, which I've tested in my nephew's computer just on its own, and it comes up as, it's pretty much coming up as not being seen in his computer. When I shove it in my computer, or when I shove it on my dock, it's fine, it works, everything works fine. Or on the surface works fine. I haven't given it any stress tests. I can't say for certain that it actually is not going to die and fall over and die in the arse. But at this point in time, I've tested a little bit, and it seemed to be functioning pretty well so far. So what I ended up doing after that is I thought, well, okay, maybe I'll run a few tests on it and things like that. I'll do that. I've got his data off, and there's a lot of data that he needed because he does some YouTube projects and videos and things like that. So I got all that data off, and now I have to transfer it over, which I've copied it all over to my external drive. So now I have to copy it over to his computer, which I don't know whether I'll do that today. I might do it tomorrow. For the moment, I'm just going to run some tests, maybe on the 500 gigabyte, and just see what's going on with it, see if it's actually working. We'll see if this is just an initial problem that only happens intermittently, basically. Aside from that, I've done a shitload of videos, which I've managed to get 2 of them uploaded. Yay for my connection. I must say, just yay, you know. Wow for my connection. Wow and yay for my connection. You need the context. Mainly because my connection is just shit ass when it comes to uploads. The only ones I'm worried about at the moment, which I want to do, which 3-hour videos of 3-hour videos of gameplay footage for GTA 5 on PC, and it looks really good, and I don't want to skimp on the quality of it, because I want it to actually show people exactly what it looks like. So, the question leaves to bear the fruit that it does. The question leaves down to at the end of it, what should I do? Should I try? Well, I'm thinking about trying to compress the videos a little more, because they are pretty big. I just don't like my chances of actually getting them uploaded in a timely manner. But the other ones, the smaller ones, I seem to have got uploaded pretty quick. They seem to be okay. I don't know, it's just really weird. But that's the thing I hate about ADSL technology, or ADSL 2 even, it's just shithouse. It does, no, I'm sorry. For what it is, it's the worst possible technology we can use as a nation to try and actually get our internet to work properly in terms of broadband. But I've already gone for a whole desktop video of that already, which I think wasn't that, it didn't end up being that big, honestly. I have to upload that as well, so I'm waiting on that. I'm going to upload that shortly. That will get uploaded. I've got 2 videos of GTA 5 PC footage at the moment, which I'm going to go through. Dying Light, I did have a problem with frame rate, but now I think I've worked the frame rate problem out. I've worked out the right setting to get the frame rate just where I want it. So I may do some footage of Dying Light. Dying Light will probably most likely be my next video in most cases. I don't see it, unless there's a big issue getting Dying Light working or something like that, but I know Dying Light's been pretty good. I've got it working, I just had a frame rate issue, but now I've fixed the frame rate issue. So, you know, I'm pretty happy with the end result of what I've been getting in sense of frames and just running around the city itself and just running past the zombies and killing zombies and stuff. So, what else have I done? I've also replaced the entire house with LED globes. Bigger one in here, brighter one in here, just for the lighting effects, so the lighting for my whole room area, just where I'm doing the camera work. So there's a bigger 12 watts, like 12 watts. It's a bigger 12 watt light. All the rest of the lights in the house are 9 watt pretty much. Yes, they're all 9 watts. So they're all LED. I pretty much placed 1, 2, 3. So kitchen, my room, Jagger's room, lounge room, bathroom, toilets, pretty much every place in the house except the only one place that I have not managed to replace is the laundry light. That's the only one I have not ended up or managed to replace yet, as of yet. So that's pretty much what I've done in the sense of technology, or just, you know, fixing up technology in the house. New toolkit, as we all saw before, and some of the videos I've been on before. Aside from that, I've got my workbench set up a little more, you know, and get things straight, and I'll end up probably building that computer this week, most likely. I don't really feel like building it this weekend, but I will build it at some point. What else? I've been looking at this little Dell, which is a little Atom processor. I'll probably end up sending these 2 laptops for about, you know, well, a reasonable price. I'll probably look about 150 for them each. They're not a bad little laptop. They still work pretty well. They do, you know, they're not weak either. They're not piss weak. And I think one of them actually ended up putting a solid state 120 gig drive in there. I will also have to get a solid state 120 gig drive for the Dell as well, but I'll have to wait because it's actually one of the ones that actually there's little chips which fit into a slot on the motherboard itself. So pretty much at this point, it's stuck. A couple of things are stuck in limbo because of budget constraints to a certain extent. Haven't had a lot of people inquiring about business, saying that I have to put a little bit more, I'm going to put a little bit more advertising up and things like that and get my business a little more flowing. In that sense of just, I need to push my advertisements a little bit more on Facebook. Maybe push, in combination of pushing them on Facebook, I want to also push them on Gumtree as well. So I'll probably end up pushing them a bit more and just putting a little more into them when I have the necessary funds to actually do that. I'm able to do that. But the Facebook ones is totally free, so I can do that anytime. So I pretty much probably end up doing some advertising on Facebook. In the meantime, I've been editing videos on YouTube. I've been editing YouTube videos, whacking the footage together, just getting everything tied together. And I've had like 1, 2, 3, 4, maybe I had 5 videos originally. Then I added another 2 to that, or another 3 to that. I think it was another 2. I added 2 more to it, I think, after that, so it's about 4. So I added 4 more to it, basically. At this point in time, I haven't got them all uploaded. It's a case of restriction of how fast I can upload things in a given situation. So I'm going to leave it there anyway. Thank you, YouTube, because I think my camera battery is very close to getting flat. Mainly because I think the battery was not charging correctly on the charger, from what I can tell. It's just indicating to me that it's flat, or it's indicating it's dead, but it's not dead. So rather frustrating that is the case, but I think it's just these are Chinese batteries that I end up buying, so it could be the fact that they're just after a certain amount of time they do lose their charge anyway. So I'm going to leave it there anyway. Thank you very much, YouTube. Stay tuned, like and subscribe to me on Twitter, Facebook, Google+, Twitch TV, Instagram as well. I mean, Instagram, I do Instagram, but it's more when I've got stuff to actually get and got stuff to actually have in front of me, and do the job and do the work with. So I'll probably do a little more Instagramming as I get along to it. I'm just, I just created the account for the hell of it, to be honest. But, yeah, so those are pretty much the things you can follow and subscribe to me on. Google+, Facebook, Twitch TV, Instagram, and of course don't forget the crowdfunding if you want to donate a little bit of money to the cause. Doesn't have to be a massive amount, just every little bit helps, to be able to fund my technology or fund me looking at technology for you and giving you a rundown and a review of the technology in question. Anyway, thank you very much, YouTube. I hope you enjoy my videos, and thank you. Just thank you. Well, thank you for being subscribers if you are subscribers, and thank you for being viewers if you are viewers, if you're just viewing my videos in general. So thank you very much. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you didn't, well, that's your choice. If you didn't want to watch the whole damn video, why the hell are you still here? I'm just saying. Alright, thank you very much, YouTube. Catch you, and goodbye. How you doing? I'm doing pretty well myself. I'm not doing too bad. I'm just thinking about different things that are griping me lately. Well, I'd say the things that are griping me mostly would be related to the current NBN plans that the government has, and probably in combination of what the government sort of is doing at the moment. They're having an absolutely shocking fucking condition of it. I mean, I'm sorry, the government's just, sorry, to me the government's just gone rotten ass to complete shit, I mean, at this point in time, there's bad decisions that have been made in the sense of the investment for the future of Australia. I honestly believe a better broadband infrastructure is going to make Australia much more fundamentally better for business, and it would be a much more dynamic plan if we could actually implement a full NBN or a full fibre network. And the thing that is shitting me about this is I can't understand why even a lot of our government would classify them as they've got the grumpy old men syndrome, pretty much a combination of that. They're grumpy old men who just want their way and their way only, and they can't think of any other or any better way to express that simply by just putting everybody into a locked system. Which, look, I had to say, it's the same context. Okay, look. There are systems. There's always going to be people who rule the welfare system. There's always going to be people who rule the system. There's always going to be somebody who's trying to get around the system or trying to cheat it, well, you know, something like that. There's always going to be people like that out there. You don't have to appeal to every lowest common denominator simply because, you know, you've got bad eggs. And the bad eggs are frustrating, I admit it, and it's probably frustrating to a lot of different Australians as well. You know, in certain situations, I can understand that, I'm not arguing that, but at the same time, you know, sometimes there's people who legitimately do need that welfare stuff in place to be able to function, you know what I mean? To be able to live their life and just live in general, you know? At the same time, I don't think humans should lose sight of compassion. Compassion is not a bad emotion. Yes, we get shitty people in this world, and I'm not arguing that, and there's crappy people, and there's people who are going to fuck with the world, and there's people who are going to fuck with things, and there's people who are going to drive, you know, hooks and whatever the fuck they want through the middle of everything, and drive a wedge between people. I'm not denying that. There's sociopathic and psychopathic people all around us at some point in our life. I mean, we do come across them. We come across them at rare intervals, you know, certain intervals in our life. And at the end of it, I'm just going to say this. It happens, people. Shit happens. Life is not perfect. Life is not a perfect line of everything. Yes, you can have moments where it seems like it's going perfectly well. But then you have moments where it just absolutely shits itself too. So you've got to understand that there's good to bad. In life, there is always good to bad moments. Regardless of who the person is, regardless of whether you see that negativity or not, it's there, people. It's just, you know, it's going to be there. You can't get rid of it. But then, you know, sometimes it's also related to what amount of drama you take on from other people, or what amount of emotional crap you take on from other people. Whether it be a person feeling a particular way or having a particular opinion about something. But at the end of it, everybody's got an opinion. Whether that person's opinion does primarily matter is another question. You have to ultimately make your own decisions, make up your own mind. Use your own brain. Think. Simple as that. At the end of it, if you use your own brain and you make choices based on the research you've done about something, a product or whatever, and you don't just make it on somebody's hearsay or with the fact that somebody said something in particular to you, that somebody tried to force their opinion or force their state of mind on you, alright? The truth of the situation is there's a lot of people, you know, as I said, it's more a case of you making an informed decision. Be smart. Be clever, you know, think about what you're doing. Don't jump straight into it, you know, to start with, and you'll find life will be a lot better if you don't do that. Because it's so much better for you in general just to sit back and think, well, okay, hold on a second, maybe I should think about what I've got in front of me, what I shouldn't do and what I should do, you know what I mean? And whether it be buying a new brand product, or whether it be making a decision to change your life in a certain way, or make your life better, or, you know, commit to doing what you want to do in your life. At the end of it, it is better to be informed and smart about your choices than to just sit there and go, okay, hold on a second, and just jump straight in and make the dumb decision and completely fall over yourself and fall apart. Now, no system is truly perfect. It doesn't matter what it is, whether it's a government system of rules or whether it's rules of law or whatever. No system is truly perfect. Every system has flaws. Every system makes mistakes. People make mistakes. Humans are prone to error. It's just ultimately the way it is. But you can always minimise that error to a certain extent by being a bit more vigilant and paying attention to what's going on around you. Which is not that hard if you really focus. As long as you focus to a relative point about what's going on around you. I mean, unless it's really something in front of you and you've got to so focus on it singly and that's it. You know what I mean? At the end of it, as long as you have some degree of focus on what's happening, you're fine. So, I mean, things that, I don't know, I've been pretty good with most of it. I mean, my hobby business is not going too bad. Things are pretty well lined up. I'm trying to get my girlfriend over here, trying to save some money for that. In the meantime, buying tools to expand upon my business practices, and this way it also expands upon my ability to make money as well. As well as that, I mean, yeah, everything's pretty much where it should be for me. I could advance obviously further, but I haven't quite got there yet. I'm not quite there yet. It's just going to take a little longer to get there. And I mean, to be honest, you know, for the point that I'm in my life now, and at least I can say I've got the certificates, I've got the proof to say that I know what I'm doing, and I also have the ability to say, you know, and I can take the actions to do what I need to do to complete things, whether it be a job or whatever, you know, for a client or things like that, or whether it be my YouTube videos and editing and things like that. I can say that I have these abilities, and I'd say at least 70 when it comes to computer stuff and all the stuff that I know off the top of my brain, and all the stuff that I have in this memory of mine. I'm right 75% of the time. As always said, 10% to 15% margin of error. Yes, I would say yes, 10 to 15% margin of error. So yeah, 75% of the time I'm not too bad when it comes to most of these things. And I have honed my instincts a little more to actually see if something is what it claims to be. But at the same time, I'm willing to admit that, you know, I can be wrong. I can make mistakes. I'm human. You know what I mean? It's human to make a couple of errors here and there. It's human to make some stupid decisions. But at the same time, it's also making some stupid decisions at the same time, learning from those stupid decisions you may make, or from stupid errors that you may have done in particular, you know, something you didn't want to do, or you did something the wrong way, or, you know, something of that nature. We are all entitled of, you know, sorry, not entitled. We're all We're all entitled to make a couple of mistakes as human beings. It's just a reasonable frame of mind for me. It just makes sense. You're not human if you don't make at least a few mistakes and fuck up a few things, you know what I mean? And I think everybody's entitled to fuck up a few things. Then there's people who majorly fuck shit up, and, like, you know, get on crystal meth and, you know, do all this stupid shit and really, really fuck things up for their whole life and just fuck the complete shit out of everything in their life. And at the end of it, those sort of people, I have to question, when you're doing something that extreme, you know, I mean, there's risk, then there's just extreme risk, where you're going out of your way to purposely almost try and kill yourself to a certain extent. Yeah, look, as I said, there's just some risk. There's some risks you can take in life. There's just some risks that you just think, well, okay, hold on a second, I have to step back here because I want to survive, you know. But yeah, that's just something from personal experience I've found with most things. I mean, I've been a technician for a few years, probably about 6-7 years now. Well, I've been a technician pretty much all my life because I've been fiddling around with computers all my life since I was a teen. But I haven't really got the practical experience and the certificates and everything and the qualifications up until 6 years ago. Well, 6 years ago from now, maybe eight years ago. Well, it was probably about 8 years experience worth of really actually doing a bit of it in the industry and mucking around with it and actually, you know, doing some actual work and things like that. So yeah, I mean, that's my point. That's where it's got you there. That's where it's at now, where I've got that 8 years experience, practical experience, where I've gone to do my own repairs, fiddle with my own things, you know, muck around and do things my own way, basically, and sort of, you know, just get things just right. So, at the end of it, I've done that, and, you know, it's been enjoyable. So far. I mean, I haven't had any major issues with it. Most people, I don't know. Well, no, I haven't had any major issues with my hobby business. It's sort of just, you know, it's just starting. I mean, it's not as big as I want it to be. It could be bigger, but obviously that'll come with time, and, you know, getting my reputation out there, whether it be business cards or, you know, advertisements, or, you know, just word of mouth. Word of mouth is another general thing too. So, you know, as long as you know the person's trustworthy, regardless. So anyway, that's my point. That's the point I'm trying to make. I've come to that practical level experience, and there's a lot of things I know, a lot of things I don't. Well, no, I mean, I don't know everything, but I know a hell of a lot when it comes to my technology side of things, and I've been definitely studying a lot of it, and I've been definitely taking note of it all. And I do a lot of research myself online as well. It's not just the read. I'm always learning. I'm always learning new things. I'm always wanting to learn new things. I'm always grasping new concepts and tools, repair methods, things of that nature, you know. I'm always looking to learn new things. I'm always looking to put my head together with all of that shit. So, you know, at the end of it, as long as I can enjoy myself, that is the main thing that I can in my life, which, you know, is a plus side. Which I just figured out on my camera now is showing full battery life. I had to reinsert the battery a couple of times. It was being a pain in the ass, the battery. The points must have been a bit dirty or something. But anyway, the point that I'm trying to make to you is, if you're going for careers like, especially this type of stuff and computers and everything else, it's always good to learn all the different types of things that are out there, you know, and it's amazing some of the stuff you can learn and the stuff you can come across, you know. I mean, there's certain... I guess I want to stay in the field I am, which is, you know, it's sort of network. I do a bit of networking, but it's sort of networking on the base level, which is, well, I do some network administration, things like that, and stuff of that nature. A little bit with servers, mucked around a little bit with servers, a little bit of Linux, a little bit of that. I mean, it's basically, I've mucked around with little bits and pieces of each individual thing. I haven't fully gone into everything, except for repair. When it comes to repairing, fixing, diagnosing, or diagnostic testing, you know, general repair, disassembly, you know, things like that, I've actually got a bit more in depth into it, and I've actually put a bit more effort into it and got to know it a little better. So I'd say that's more my area of expertise in most cases. Unless there's something specific that I have to research. I mean, sometimes there are some situations where I actually have to research something and find out exactly what's wrong with the particular computer or the particular diagnostic code or whatever I need specifically for an item or a brand or a specific piece of hardware. So, you know, that's my point. Sometimes you get that stuff. There's the other side of the spectrum as well. I mean, there's a lot of stuff that today especially is not as repairable as, say, a desktop, or you're playing desktop gaming computers, which is gaming computers is my specialty, because I like to be able to game, and I do game a lot. And I find, you know, from personal experience, that's sort of my other area of expertise, you know, building those nice gaming machines, getting that type of stuff. And, you know, as I said, it's something I enjoy. It's something that gives me pleasure to do. At the same time, I got to be able to make a few bucks out of it too, you know. And the other side of the spectrum is that sometimes where I don't necessarily have to make something out of it, I can just help the person because I want to help the person. Because generally I am a kind person most of the time, unless you really want to use me and abuse me or take advantage of me, then I'll be an arsehole. An absolute arsehole, to be honest. But yeah, the only time I will ever get, there's the only time I will ever get up at anybody's goat about anything is when those situations arise. But anyway, I digress. The point that I'm trying to come across to you guys is that the best thing you can do for yourself is just, you know, learning a lot of this stuff. Even if you just go through the basic guides. I mean, you've got the basic diagrams and guides and everything else. You've also, aside from the basic diagrams and guides, you've also got the other side of the spectrum as well, which is basic guides. And, yeah, you've got those. Then you've got some of the dummies guides. I mean, I know it's not implying that you're stupid or idiotic and dumb just because you read those guides. It sometimes simplifies some of the stuff that you need to go through, especially if you're not immediately into the techno language of most stuff. It'll help you dumb it down a little bit to a certain level so you understand a little more how things work. And then slowly but surely you can work your way up to a higher level of the techno babble, as it were, you know. But the other side of the spectrum of it is sometimes you've got to be able to simplify it for the customer, so reading those books can actually help you do that as well. So, I digress. To me, it seems like a perfectly reasonable idea to read a few of those books, and not just that, but other books as well. There's like electronics books, you know, I mean, I started looking at electronics engineering and stuff, which looks very interesting, and some of the stuff I've started looking at on Facebook, on YouTube, which is, I'm going to look through some of these videos, it's just all the different meters and things you can gauge, you know, whether it be the electronics, you know, specifically for different power voltages and, you know, electrical engineering anyway. My point is that some of that stuff's very interesting, and I find it very cool, because a lot of that stuff is the same stuff that I come across every day in my job, to be able to know if something should take a certain voltage, or if it can take a certain ampage voltage, or whether it's going to overcharge the circuit, or, you know, whether it's going to blow the capacitors off the board or whatever. I mean, it's good to know these things. You need to be able to have some idea of this stuff. Whether it be, you know, IP addresses and things like that, wireless networks, and how to set things up. You know, generally, I'm not against reading a manual either. I'm not against reading a manual of a particular item in question, whether it be a DOS manual or something like that nature, because I have done that stuff in the past and I have read that stuff. Probably should refresh my memory with DOS a little more, but I mean, DOS hasn't been a big part of Windows for a long time, so a lot of that stuff I don't go into as much. But DOS is still fun to play with, still nice to muck around with. Terminal's not too bad. I've sort of got back into, what was the name of the damn thing? Linux, which I've been using Ubuntu, which I'm interested in some of the terminal commands, some of the terminal stuff, because a lot of the terminal stuff specifically in Unix, Linux, that combination can be very interesting and can be very cool when you're getting into a lot of the coding stuff and the other sides of it, you know, to be able to do your own customized programs and customize, you know, windows and commands and things like that. It's pretty, some of it's very interesting. I mean, some of it can be a little boring too, some of it can sort of bore the shit out of you too. But the other side of the spectrum is not always boring, and, you know, sometimes you can get some benefit out of it, learn a few things along the way, and in combination you can learn a thing or two about hacking as well. You know, stuff like that, which I have learned stuff in the past, but I don't do it as much as I used to. But that's just, you know, occasional bit and piece here, but nothing as much as I used to. Anyway, I think I'll leave it there. YouTube, thank you very much. Stay tuned. I obviously have more videos coming out. This is just me randomly ranting on about different subjects that I've got on my mind presently at the moment. Some things I've got something going through my head. Yeah, look, I'm just going to leave it there and say that, you know, like, subscribe to my channel if you've got some interesting points, or if you want to know my points on different things. Want to know my opinion on specifically different types of processes, or, you know, whatever, just technical stuff. I mean, the same as technical stuff, you can also ask me general questions, because I'm always open to most general questions, and I'm a pretty open-minded. I'm an open-minded individual. As well as being open-minded, I don't discriminate against religion, sexual orientation, or anything like that. I've never discriminated against anybody. I don't discriminate people. I don't discriminate against individuals either. I'm not sexist either. You know, I'm very open. I'm very, very to the point. I mean, I can be a bit of a smart ass sometimes. I can be stupid. I can make people laugh. But I'm a very open-minded, I don't discriminate whether you... doesn't matter what race you are. It doesn't matter who you are. I don't discriminate against people. I'm just not that type of person. I don't generally do that. The only thing I do discriminate against is if somebody's a bitch. If somebody's a bitch and somebody's an arsehole. If you're an arsehole or a bitch, I don't want to know you, because you can get fucked. Because I have to deal with enough arseholes sometimes, especially when it comes to the internet, trolls-wise or things of that nature. Yeah, dealing with those people, I just, you know, I completely ignore that side of the spectrum and just fuck off, you know. I don't need the bullshit, I don't need the drama and the crap, because I have had a lot of experience with that on IMVU, just different services, the chat services I've used. I have practical experience with a lot of people being dicks or assholes. I mean, some people do it for fun. I'm not denying that, but at the same side of the spectrum, why... I can understand why some people do what they do, but the same side of it too, you know, sometimes you're playing with other people's lives, and you're playing with other people's lives, but you're also pissing off people. And a lot of people, and the truth of the situation, and this is true, I think there's a couple of people which I think was Rich of Review Tech USA pointed this out, that some people can get so pissed off when you're trolling them and doing stuff of that nature, that they can get so fucking pissed off initially that they'll want to come and stab you. They'll want to look at you, track you down, track your IP down, track your address down, and then come to your house and stab the shit out of you. Now, it doesn't happen. Like, there was a couple of stories with this guy. This French guy stabbed this guy because he got killed on Counter-Strike. He got he knifed the guy. He stabbed the guy who he got knifed by on Counter-Strike. Now, it's not everybody, and it's not everybody who does this, and it's not all people out there, but there are people out there who can just not accept defeat, or just simply they want to win by, you know, doing something to you in real life and fucking your life up. And the truth of the situation is, just because you're behind a computer doesn't necessarily mean you're safe, as he pointed out. So trolling can be a little detrimental to people in some cases. Now, I don't know, sometimes trolling can be a little funny, I admit. In some situations, trolling can be a little hilarious. Especially if the person gets a nice reaction, but that's the reason I don't tend to feed the trolls. There are people that will actually just, they keep feeding them because they're just, pretty much, that's who they are, But they can't help but react that way, or just react in general. So, I mean, at the end of it, I've thought of it in the long run myself, personally, that, I've got to be able to say, or I've got to be able to make the point that, as I said, there are people out there who will want to do that, kill you, stab you, whatever, punch you in the head. There are also going to be people who have anger management issues. Whether it's an anger management issue or psychosis, either context. And my point is, there's always going to be people out there like that, so you do have to be a little bit aware that sometimes the things you do say ultimately do affect people to a certain extent. That includes people with suicidal tendencies or people with depression issues. Seriously, it shows the sadness of somebody's life when they want to cause somebody else so much pain that they make this person almost suicidal to a certain extent because of the way they're being treated on the internet, basically. And I'm not saying it is all human beings that are like this, and I don't say that it's all the people go trolling and troll all the time. But there are people out there who do that, and you've got to realise that there is an effect on the people that you see out there, or on the people you come across on the internet or otherwise. There is going to be an effect. There is going to be some type of, there's going to be something that's going to hit them, alright? And at the end of it, you have to take that, to have a little compassion for a fellow human being is a nice thing. I don't think it's a bad thing. Compassion is not, it's not overly bad, but, you have to have, compassion to me is an essential part of human nature, a bit of empathy, alright? If you don't have any empathy at all, or any emotional connection to your other human beings, how do you expect to function in the real world? The real world is not always that way. Real world, you have to have a little more empathy for some people, unless you're a complete psychopath, in which case, I don't know, you might end up as a CEO or something. I'm just kidding, but still, my point is a little compassion towards whether it be your workers or whether it be the people that you talk to in your everyday life. Nothing wrong with walking a mile in somebody's shoes to see what it's like for them when something happens, or whether they feel a particular way when something happens. So at the end of it, think about what you do. I am totally against bullying. I never like people being bullied. At the end of it, I don't see the point in, bullying somebody to that point in their life where they're just going to kill themselves. And I've seen people who ultimately turn around and spackle at people, or, knock people over because they want to kill themselves, or they want to knock themselves off, and they ultimately, they force, not just force the issue, but they actually make people they egg on the process, and they make it worse. And, the other side of the spectrum is different people. It's like, thinking, why would you make it worse? Sometimes you gotta, at the end of it, I've thought about it truthfully, right? Well, I thought about it to a key, in my mind, okay? I've come to the conclusion that these people ultimately just egg it on or make it worse, just make the situation so much worse, aggravate, drive into utter anger and despair for the person in question. Now, I don't think that's right in my mind. That's not the right thing. It's not a good thing to do. It's a nasty thing to do, And sometimes just stepping back from the situation, having a little more compassion for your fellow human beings, okay, alright? But, as I said, I'd rather people think about the effect it has on people. And, human beings, I had to say it, it's the other side of the truth of the spectrum is that, people get into two arguments which this guy... Apparently these two guys got into an argument because one was for Android OS and one was for Apple iOS. And they ended up stabbing each other because they were arguing over the different OSs and basically the merits of it. Look, I don't know. For me, it's an equalisation thing on any subject. I will accept that somebody likes a particular brand or a particular type of thing. That's your choice. I'm not going to fucking stab you or fucking kill you because you don't like the brand I like. That's just fucking ludicrous. Anything I will not tolerate is a certain degree of just
honest stupidity to the point of ridiculousness, where it's the fact that you're just being stupid on purpose and you're just trying to drive people nuts with it. And the other thing I will not put up with is assholes, douchebags, bitches, and people just being cockheads about things. That's what I will not put up with. That's the type of shit I will not put up with. I will put up with people, you know, there's certain things I'll tolerate in my life and there's certain things I won't tolerate. Certain things, just to a point, I'll tolerate that, you know, people are going to be a certain way, you know, maybe people are just that way and they can't help the way they are. But, at the other side of the spectrum, I will not, there's certain things my tolerance level will go so far, and then it's pretty much, you know, I have to let it go and I have to be honest with the person and explain exactly what the fuck's going on. You know? But, I digress. That's pretty much what I feel like on the whole bullying and, you know, combination thing and stuff like that. Things of that nature and stuff like that, you know, basically. I don't know. At the end of it, I guess it's a jaded opinion of different people, but, you know, I mean, sometimes people can formulate jaded opinions because, simply because the people that they've had contact with, let's just say they're either pathetic drama queens who want to start shit and just can't stop starting shit, or the other side of the spectrum is the person's just purposely trying to cause a problem in the first place. Now, you know, I mean, it all comes into a person's personal experience and how it changes them and how it chooses to shape them and, you know, maybe change their mind to a different perspective in most cases. So, depends on the person. But I mean, as I said, that's just some of my views on that stuff. And at the end, you know, I just try to do my best. I try to do the best I possibly can with what I've got. I try to work with the best possible perspective most of the time, and I try to get things just even, you know, to make sure things are nice and even most of the time. Balanced, if I can help it. Things aren't always balanced, but most of the time they are. Anyway, I'm going to leave it there. Thank you very much, YouTube. Hope you enjoyed my videos. Subscribe to me on Google+, Facebook, Twitch TV, Instagram. Yeah, so all those services are going to look. It's also crowdfunding available if you're interested in funding future videos, future content. I mean, there's some personal content like this which wouldn't have to be funded, but like for example, technology funding type stuff. You know, for future technology, new consoles that might be coming out, things that you might want me to actually review and look at and give an opinion on, and just, you know, run down and run through of how it actually works, and, you know, the best possible experience, or, you know, give my honest opinion as to what the best possible experience is with this or a particular brand I like, you know, combinations of that. Anyway, I'm going to leave it there. Thank you very much. Hope you enjoyed my videos, and please stay tuned. There's obviously more coming up in the future. This is just a little bit of a spiel video of me just going on and on about different subjects that you know, basically stuff that I have an opinion on. So, yeah. Alright, thank you very much. Stay tuned, and I hope you enjoyed the video. Yes, indeed.